Good evening, everybody, and I've got the wrong thing up. Wow, that's a great start, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's redo that, shall we? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 5 of SKG Tier 1, and we are here for the Marina Bay Street Circuit here in Singapore. And as you can see, on the left-hand side there, it is a wet qualifying session we have here, and oh boy, is this going to be good? So, Marina Bay is a 4.9 kilometre long circuit. It has in total 19 corners, I want to say. 12 to the left and 7 to the right. And yeah, let's get on with the action. Cars emerging from the pit lane. First man out on track is AMR Dom. It is going to be me tonight, as my good friend GB Sanson is off celebrating Valentine's Day with his missus. So instead, I am celebrating Valentine's Day with all you guys. You should feel very privileged. Oh god. Right, I need to get the chat up, don't I? Yeah. And my phone switched off. Oh, it's gonna be one of the, you're gonna be like that, are you, phone? Okay. I see how it is. Apologies guys, I'm just trying to get the stream up so I can have a look at chat. But my phone constantly wants to try and not allow me to go onto Twitch. Oh, just chill out, please. Right. I think we're going to be okay. Oh my god, this is like stupid. Very, very stupid. Anyway, we got AMR Dom approaching the final sector, so we'll ride on board with the McLaren as he will be the first man to set a lap time in what is a 14-man lobby. So not a full grid, but still have a few more than, well, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. As he's round the two final corners of turn 18 and 19 as he starts his lap. Over line he comes. Go on board with the McLaren as he goes into the left-hander of turn 3, then back to the right. Very slow, obviously being in the wet, and then to the, well, almost hairpin like turn 3. Accelerating out. You can hear the wheel spin on the McLaren. Around turn 4, and I've only just realised he has actually invalidated, so that lap we will move on, as the McLaren decides that he is going to be going for another run. Who else is, who should be next? Parker, I believe it is Parker. So the championship leader, I think he is ahead of second place, which is Esker Kalevi. So Esker Kalevi is in the lobby, yep. So the championship leader, Parker, the American driver, I think he sits, let me try and get the statistics up. I believe he is ahead by 8 points, I want to say, coming into round 5. Yeah, 8 points ahead of Esko Kalevi. He sits on 61 points with Esko Kalevi on 53. And it is a further 11 points back to AMS Nardu, who, fun little statistic, as Casper retires, actually. So Casper, man who we always know has amazing pace. We saw it in Belgium, where I think he qualified last, or close, well, pretty much at the back, and ended up, I think, P2 by the end of it. So yeah, Casper deciding he wants to start last, unless we do have anyone being disqualified. Parker continuing his lap. It's looked like a pretty clean lap as he goes sideways there, going into what is, I believe, turn 13 or turn 14, I want to say. He's now down one of our, well, supposedly DRS zones, but obviously it being wet, the DRS is not available. As Parker's sliding his way out of turn 17 and into the double left-hander, should I say, of the final two corners, and over line he comes on a 46.6. So that is the benchmark. People are on the intermediate, so we'll have to see if there is a pace advantage on the different compound of tyres. Nardi over the line, which is an interesting stat we do have to talk about Nardo. He currently holds the qualifying lap record, which will not be beaten here this evening due to the weather. If I can get up my GB Sanderson statistics, which he sent me like 18 paragraphs worth of statistics. Yes. Lap record AMS Nardo from season 13 when he was driving for Williams with a 25.4. So we are a long way off seeing a 25 as he is in third, but he's just been perplexed by, well, not perplexed, beaten, should we say, for the moment by Takubi, and then even Ethan Quigley has gone ahead as he slots into P2, only a tenth behind the current best of Parker. Who's that completing a lap? That was Krabs. Krabs in the Aston Martin, finishing his lap. As yeah, cars coming over the line and times are tumbling. Kalevi man P2 in the standings, 8 points behind Parker. With Parker currently sitting on provisional pole and Esko Kalevi down in P6, then you never know, that might leave the door wide open for Parker if it finishes like this. So we don't know what was happening in the race in terms of weather. I'm going to assume it's a dry race, but it was only time will tell. Ghosty, he's currently last out of the people that have set times on a 150.1, shall I say. So I'm going to assume that wasn't a mistake from the Ferrari if he's that far off the back of the Racing Bulls. I think he is on another lap. That's the thing about these wet weather conditions, that you don't really need to pit after like one run like you do in dry sessions. You can just keep going, and that you will just find time as the track improves and gets more grippy. Let's go Ghosty approaching the final sector split. Let's see what the delta is. Yeah, 1.4 seconds up, so you have to assume there was a big mistake from the Ferrari for him to be that far away. Yeah, he actually will be the last man to set, well, most recent man to set a time actually, I believe. Saying that, Krabs is pitting, Megson Cube is just ahead. No, actually, he's just behind. So we'll keep an eye on the Ferrari as he's going to come around the final two corners. Where will this time put the Ferrari? Over the line he comes, and up to P5. He is on the intermediates though, and he has managed to get ahead of Tom Campbell, who is on the wet, so it certainly doesn't look like full wet conditions, as the looks like it's raining a little bit, I think. But it's not as not that wet, I don't think. Sway has gone up to P3 in the Red Bull. Lovely lap from the Dutchman. As we were talking about this not a few minutes ago, Esko Kalevi being down in P6, he has now actually improved on his second run up to P4. Still 3/10 behind the current best of Parker. So we'll have to see if anyone can beat Parker for the time being. A lot of people coming into the pits now to, well, get on a fresh set of tyres and go again. Yeah, AMS Nardo, the track, well, lap record holder here in SKG. So we'll have to assume that he maybe can pull something out of the bag. But we'll wait and see. As we are watching the Aston Martin of Magston Cube come round the final few corners. He will hope to improve on what already is a 48.7 as he's up to the line. And he goes P2, wow. Lovely lap from the Aston Martin as he slots in. Well, 8/10 behind the current best. Just have a look at that, yeah. 7.67 tenths of a second off the current best set by Parker. So Parker I believe actually has it. I think I've missed it, but I think he has actually improved on his current bet, well, his old best, shall we say, as he's up to the line. Will he improve again? No, he will not. So he is staying on the wets. Actually, he's might come in at the end of the session to put on the intermediates and try and hold the best time. As I've only just noticed, we are not actually getting notifications that people are going provisional pole, as we just saw on the left-hand side with Portuguese Beast going fastest on the intermediates, just getting ahead of Parker by slenderest of margins. So yeah, maybe the intermediate's starting to become the better tire with, well, only 2 cars now on the wets. That being Parker, well, the 2 Racing Bulls, Parker and Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell has just improved on his time by a second. Everyone on the track at the moment. Nobody actually in the pits, which is weird to see in a qualifying session, but everyone staying out, wanting to get the best of the conditions so far. Yes, mine will be the man to come into the pit lane and end that statistic. I've just noticed we have someone in the chat saying not a dry race. So then, is he telling the truth or is he telling a lie? We do not know, as Sway goes fastest there. Then followed by Esko Kalevi, the man in P2 in the standings. Man that actually was on pole in last week's race around Belgium, but unfortunately was pipped by the man currently down in P10, Takubi, with a fantastic win. Just controlled the pace with Caspi and Jacek going into from last to P2, and then Esko Kalevi, I think, taking third, I want to say. But yeah, time's tumbling with Esko Kalevi nearly in the 44s. And he needs to improve by, well, 6 milliseconds and he'll be there. Which, with the conditions, probably going to start improving drastically very shortly. We will have to wait and see. With Risbo actually has improved and gone up to P6. Last week's race winner, as Krabs now goes into the 44s with a 44.440. The number 67, I said the thing, on his Aston Martin. It is not funny, ladies and gentlemen. Yow. Respectfully. Die. But yeah, we have cars improving. A Portuguese Beast 2 turns up. AMR Dom goes fastest. So yeah, times are very much improving, as Ethan Quigley we saw in the background. Over the line, he goes into P3, just slots ahead of his teammate. Yeah, we'll see who comes into pits. Goat Ghosty in. Scooby is still out, and he is down in P12, so the man started second on the grid. Around Belgium, his home circuit, inverted that to the win, is 1.6 seconds up actually, so actually I just realized he has actually invalidated, so that lap will not count. But this man, Amos Nardu, is, well, he needs to find some time. He is down in P13 and last. Well, not last, but last out of the people that, well, can still set lap times. So he is on an out lap. See if anyone is improving. Ethan Quigley is improving by 30 hundredths. Portuguese Beast, I believe, was about 8 tenths up there for a second before he came into the pit lane. So possibly pace from the Haas. Yeah, interesting to note here, we have Parker down in P8. He's gone onto the intermediates now, so obviously he was fastest, and now he's down to P7. So you can see P8, shall I say? So you can see the track improving that much, and probably the intermediates being now the comfortably faster tyre. But yeah, the championship leader by 8 points going into this round 5. We have 7 races to go. Can Parker hold on to what already is quite a slim lead? I'm sure he'd want that to be more than 8 points. But can't predict how anything is going to go until it happens. yeah, let's go on board then with Parker. As what it probably won't be his last lap, but it'll be up there as he's into the left-hander of. Well, I've got the track numbers, corner numbers here, and the track names. No, number name. Oh, fuck's sake. But yeah, he's through turn 1, 2, and well, that was turn 4. As they go into the right-hander of turn 5, slides a bit on in the mid-corner. So as he's along Raffles Boulevard, approaching Memorial Corner of turn 7. Takes nicely into there, goes onto the curb a tiny bit, and down into turn 8, the hairpin of Stamford. And the sweeping left-hander of Padang. And then we run down into what will be the most technical part of the circuit, as the rain is increasing actually. I've only just noticed that now. Of the Singapore Sling, and then into turn 11. And back to the left for turn 12, and then over the Anderson Bridge. And into the hairpin of turn 13. We'll get rid of that so you can see a perfect view of Parker's car. As down is turn 14 of Connaught. Sharp right-hander, perfect for making an overtaking opportunity there. And we're down Raffles Avenue, is what this little area is called. As we approach turn 16. Into the right. Hops the curb a little bit more, that probably would have compromised his run. Then through turn 17. That's just the final 2 corners of turn 18. And turn 19. And over the line comes Parker, and he's improved by 2 seconds and goes fastest of anybody so far. So lovely lap from Parker, but I think still time to be gained there. As we saw a few bits and bobs that might still be able to gain a few tenths, but have to wait and see as the final runs are coming now. You see there's a little bit of car park over. We're watching Risbo as he's behind. I think that is Esko Kalevi. Yes, it is. So the Williams and the McLaren getting very close as the cars are just backing off, trying to leave room for one another. But yeah, it's anyone's pole position here in Singapore, as the track is just going to keep getting faster and faster. Or is it? With the obviously we saw the rain coming down, I think even heavier. So Nardu is just going to get over the line, and he's only going to have one opportunity to improve. So he needs to make this lap count, or else he'll start in 13th. He's sitting 3rd in the standings so far. So the Sauber has a lot of pressure on him on this lap. Parker is not improving very much, but Magnussen Cube is improving. So the Aston Martin out of turn 17. Can he take pole position here in Singapore as he rounds turns 18 and 19? Over the line comes the Aston Martin, and he spins himself as he can't improve, and he stays 2nd fastest for now. But there will be times, well, there will be cars improving very, very shortly. As who is that? I think that is Parker actually. Don't think he's going to improve, as he is about a 10.5 down on his personal best. But let's see, over the line comes the Racing Bulls, the championship leader. Does improve by 40 hundredths of a second, but it's not that much. Can anyone beat him? Who is going to be next? There is a Ferrari over the line. That is Goat Ghosty. Goat Ghosty goes up into P2. Still half a second behind Parker. So Parker, yeah, with a lovely lap in the end there. But yes, it's Goat Ghosty's teammate Takubi who really needs to find a lap here. The man started P2 last week around his home circuit of Belgium. Can he go any higher than P12? And he does. P5 as Sway, just misses out by fractions of the margins. And you have to say, he's going to be a bit annoyed there. You can see ahead, the Ferrari of Takubi was ahead of him that entire lap. So, yeah, you've got to assume, was that it? As Amar Dom goes fastest by 2 tenths of a second. Ethan Quigley then beats him by, I think that was a 10.5. The Williams is on pole position here. As at the death, the Williams takes it away from the McLaren. And Nardu actually managed to get a lap in at the end there and go to 3rd. So yeah, Nardu with a crucial lap. And our 3 championship protagonists are there, 3rd, 4th and 5th. With Parker being sandwiched between the 2 people that are in 2nd and 3rd. But that is your grid for the Singapore Grand Prix here in SKG Round 5, Tier 1. But yeah, Quigley on pole position for Williams. Williams with a great starting position here with their first and fifth. And yeah, interesting to see with Caspian Jacek starting in P14. So obviously we know how strong he is in the race. Well, the race is. But we have to just wait and see, as we've just gone from 8 viewers up to 17 all of a sudden. So thank you everyone for tuning in, as we are now just going to wait on the drivers to select their strategies and sort out their tyres. And obviously we had a bit of information leaked to us from somebody saying that it might not, not a dry race. So, but at the moment it is dry, so we'll have to wait and see if the rain comes at some point. I'm famous. I wouldn't go that far. I'm just doing something for doing a deed for a few friends, and I don't get paid for it. Damn. Anyway, let us begin shortly, as it should be a comfortable one-stop round here. Mediums can go, I think, to lap 12, 11, 12, 13-ish, and then you probably take hards at most of the rest of the distance. But I was last commentating here in Tier 4, and we had 4 safety cars. So I pray that we do not have the same repeat of that, as the race lasted for over an hour, and it was painful to commentate on. So I hope that the guys can keep it as clean as, yeah, here we go then. We're going to find out. As we are underway then here in Singapore, as everyone opting for the hard tyres. It looks like Amos Nardu has jumped ahead of AMR Dom as Parker is up the inside. So AMR Dom having a bit of a poor start there, as he's down now in his 4th place. There is a bit of a contact there, I think, between AMR Dom and Parker, as behind the 2 Ferraris are going, well, lining up there, you see. As it looks like Esco Clave is going to hold off. Ghosty Finau is in the background there. That is a Haas of Portuguese Beast. Unfortunately, he is down right at the back there. Unfortunately, must have had some sort of coming together with somebody. But yeah, everyone's starting on the hard tyres, so you have to think that the rain is going to come if everyone is starting on the hards. But that could just be preference, but we have to just find out later on down the line. But at the front, Ethan Foley holding the lead for the time being, getting a great start. But Nardi moving up past AMR Dom, and AMR Dom, yeah, almost nearly a second behind actually the front 2. So just maybe not firing up the tyres quick enough. As changing positions further down, it's way behind Banks and Cube, shall we say. He's got Krabs just behind him. Caspian Jacek up 2 positions for now, with obviously Portuguese Beast having that, well, yeah, that nightmare start, as you see him down in P14, 11 seconds off the back of the field, and he's going to have to pit as well. So possibly an early retirement, because unless we do have a safety car, it's going to be very, very difficult to regain any of that time for the Haas. It's Haas's only car in the race here, so it'd be a shame if he does retire. But we'll just wait and see what happens. But out of the front, Ethan Crowley pulling a second actually on AMS Nardu, so Williams showing how much pace he's got. Obviously with DRS enabled now, who has it? Actually, yeah, Nardu does have the DRS. So we will be able to gain back the time that he did lose. So we're not going to have any overtakes down into Memorial Corner. Let's go on to positions gained then. AMR Dom down 1 from P2, and Amos Nardu up 1 from P3 up into P2. So he's, well, he needs to have a good result here, as he's in 3rd in the standings, 19 points behind Parker, who he's 2 positions ahead of. But yeah, the 2 championship rivals down there in 4th and 5th. Parker ahead of Esco Clave by 8 points. But obviously we already are on round 5, so it's quite early on in the season. I mean, you never know, Parker could finish the season in 4th in the standings, and yeah, anything can change here in SKG. cars still circulating round. We'll get the tyres back up. As Portuguese Beast has gone back onto a set of hard tyres, so thankfully for him, he did select the harder tyre allocation. The gap is half a second, so will we see a move actually here from the Sauber? Doesn't look like he is gaining enough to take advantage of the DRS assistance. Down in P12, will we see a move from? Oh my word! What have we just seen there as Caspian Jacek has a wiggle on the straight? That was scary as he's up the inside of Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell doesn't leave him much room, as there is a bit of barging between these two, the Racing Bulls and the Red Bull. Barging and banging as they're going to go side by side, is it, into Singapore Sling, but Casper gets the position up into P11. He's got his teammate Sway just ahead of him there. And will we see a bit of team orders from the Red Bull pit wall to move Sway out of the way and let Casper go through? We'll have to wait and see. But up at the front, the gap is still very close. Nardu, he might even make a move here. The gap is close. Ethan Quigley defending the inside on the right-hand side of the circuit. As out of turn 17, he has a huge slap of oversteer. Thankfully catches the car and doesn't go into the wall. Nardu moving out the slipstream, trying to, well, probably not gain as much time as he'd like. Doesn't want to go for any move too early, should we say. Car's having perfect opportunity to save tyres and save battery, being behind it. Ethan Quigley. Out onto Apples Boulevard, out of turn 5. Will the Sauber be close enough to make a move here? I don't think he will be. Looks like he's going to stay behind for the time being, as behind yeah, there we go. We have the Caspian Jacek getting ahead of Sway. So he's up into P10. He's now got Krabs 1.4 seconds ahead. It's, well, yeah, the two Aston Martins and the 2 Ferraris. Next 4 cars for the Red Bull to navigate his way through. As Parker getting very close to the back of AMR Dom. That's not what Parker needs right now. Is any early damage would really hurt at this stage, as we saw from Portuguese Beast. Nardu looks up the inside into turn 13, turn 14 that was. As he's going to have the DRS and be able to pull alongside and get ahead of the Williams down into turn 16, but Ethan Quigley's going to try and hold it round the outside. This is wonderful racing as Ethan Quigley has an accident, and so did not. Oh no! Nardu has been caught up in an accident which Ethan Quigley is kind of. Oh, as heartbreaking from those two guys that were running first and second. The Williams down. Well, yeah, they both got damage. Thankfully, they can come into the pit lane. Nardu has to pit. Ethan Quigley does stay out, actually. Let's see what damage he has. He's missing quite a good portion of both his sides of his front wing. So the pole sitter going from bad to worse as he decides to stay out, which is an odd call. Unless he just doesn't have any more hard tyres to go onto. But yeah, Ethan Quigley down there in P12 and Amos Nardu really being affected by that. As you see, he's just so far off the back of the field now. As we talk about being far off the back of the field. Poor old Portuguese Beast. 50 seconds behind. Obviously, we'll gain more time now with that little kerfuffle. Up at the front, then the fight then goes from to AMR Dom, Parker, Esko Kalevi, and then the whole train of cars, which goes down to Caspian Jacek actually. So technically it's an 8-car fight for the win. But whether or not we have 8 cars fighting for the same piece of tarmac at once is highly unlikely. AMR Dom out the final corner to start lap 6 of 31. As Ethan Quigley has now actually come into the pit lane, and it looks like he is going to be passed by Nardu. So, yeah, the two guys that were first and second on the track are now down to, well, P12 and P13, so yeah, a bit of a contrast from where they were. Yeah, with the cars going round here on lap 7 of 31. It's still AMR Dom that leads from Parker. Everyone's still on the hard tyres, with obviously the exception of Nardu and Ethan Quigley. But obviously we saw that coming together. That's really going to hurt Nardu's championship hopes, as yeah, he was 19 points behind Parker going into this race, and well, as things stand, it's really going to put a nail in the coffin for Kick Sauber, unless obviously huge drama does happen, which, you know, we wouldn't count it out, but there's still a long way to go in the race, still another 24 laps remaining, so anything can happen. Obviously we are expecting rain and maybe a safety car. You know, it still could be on for Nardu, but for the time being, it's looking not too great. As we're riding forward with the Red Bull, the Polish driver of Caspian Jacek. Is he going to send one up the inside into the hairpin? The door is left open there by Magnussen Cube, as they do bang wheels going out of the corner. As Izzy's going to give an opportunity to Krabs to have a look. As Casper's, is he going to try and look for the switchback? Magnussen Cube squeezes him to the outside of the circuit, almost into the wall there. Two will get the DRS, they both will, so it'll be a drag race down into turn 16. As it looks like the Red Bull going to get ahead for the time being, and Casper up into P6 now. Obviously benefiting from the incident in the Williams and the Sauber. He will not mind at all. So he's now got Ghosty and Takubi, the man he was, well, I was going to say fighting with, but Takubi was very in control of the race around Belgium. And Casper could just do nothing about it. As Sway has left the session, that is unfortunate. We'll see if we can get him back in. I hope I have him added. Yes, I do, thankfully. So he's down in P11, so with that disconnect, he's going to unfortunately fall off the back of the train. Which is unfortunate for him. Which we have to assume it's a disconnect or something else, but yeah, unlucky for the Dutchman. As, wow, what have we just seen there? Parker going very wide out of the hairpin, or going very wide on the entry, should we say. As is he going to try and get the move done here onto here? He's going to look to the outside, and is he actually going to be able to get this done? It's going to be a brave move if he can get this done around the outside. He will actually have the DRS to help him going down to turn 16, but the McLaren, shall I say, has some great straight line speed. They're going to go side by side into turn 16. Parker hops the curb. Will that be a warning for him? As Dom comes back for more up at turn 18. They're going to stay side by side almost. But the Racing Bulls is ahead into the lead of the race now. Esko Kalevi watching all of that unfold. I'm sure he would have hoped for some contact with Parker as he could slip through. But for the time being, Parker up into the race lead. Exactly where he needs to be to extend his championship lead. But Dom, not that far behind. Will he be able to actually have a look up the inside? I don't think he will do into turn 8. Sway does get to rejoin the session as Caspian Jacek is fighting with Ghosties. Looked around the outside, which will then turn to the inside for I'm not too sure what the corner name is apart from this one, which is called Padang. That's quite an easy name to remember. As a yellow flag out, what has happened to someone had an off? It's Portuguese Beast. As what has happened to the Haas, he's lost his whole front wing. I think this might be a retirement for the Haas, as he's so far behind. He may even be a lap down very shortly if anything happens to him again. But the car's coming, well, into the final sector now, so yeah, it's been not a great day for the Haas, or the Haas team, as their only car is, well, yeah, very nearly a lap down, and we're only on lap 9, so not ideal for him. I think he will stay ahead of the leaders for the time being, but you can see there he comes out of the pit lane on the left hand side at the top of the screen. There is the leaders, so he will be getting blue flags actually very soon, which is not something you want to see really, unfortunately for him. Anyway, the battle for the lead is still very close. Gap, well, under 0.4 of a second from AMR Dom to Parker. McLaren stays behind for the time being, watching the rear light flash on the white racing balls. We look back and see the Williams, then followed by the Ferrari, then followed by the Red Bull, who is now behind his old championship rival from season 12. I want to say that is season 12 or season 13, when they were fighting for the championship. As he's out of the race. Casper's out of the race! What on earth has happened there? What? Huh? That's Casper! Out of nowhere! DNFs! Unbelievable! I have no words for what I've just seen. That might be the most surprising DNF I've ever seen on this game. Just bang! Wheel gone. Oh god. Peak wall physics, yeah. As will anyone take this pit stop? I don't think they will, because they're all on the hards. Actually, yeah, Jesko Clavey and Takubi will pit actually. So these two coming in, and as well. Oh, the Ferraris are going to double stack, but with the safety car, it won't be that much of a time loss. But obviously they will fall behind Krabs and Rismo by the looks of things. Takubi goes onto the medium, surprisingly. So, as people are going on to the intermediates, here we go then. Is the rain here? Is it raining? It is not. I'm guessing the rain is going to come very shortly if people have gone on to the intermediates. 4 cars have opted for it. It's Jesko Clavey, Krabs, Goat Ghosty and Sway going on to the intermediates early. Yeah, so it's a bold strategy with the rain has not even started yet. But have to see if it pays off for them. But obviously they want the rain to come now, so then when it does go back to racing, they won't just burn out the tyres, and then by the time the rain does come, they've got absolutely zero grip. Nardo's gone onto the softs, so Nardo going aggressive. Yeah, that is. We're up to 1 safety car, 1 out of 4. Safety cars are coming. Just keeping an eye on AMR Dom, watching the halo for any indication of the rain arriving. Has it restarted now? I think it has. As I need a second look, as yes, the rain has started now, so this is it then. The guys on the intermediates may just have, their prayers may have just been answered. Will any of our leaders now come into the pit lane to go onto the green wall intermediates? Let's find out. Parker angling his car onto the left hand side. I think he will be pitting, as well as probably everyone else. As yeah, the whole field will now pit. So everyone now off the hard tyres, and well, will anyone go mediums like Takubi, or will they go all intermediates? I'm sure it'll be all intermediates. Jesko Clavey will go into the lead of the race, so he's called the strategy perfectly. Krabs as well. So where's Takubi? Takubi, I think it put him on the wrong set of tyres, as he's had to come in for another pit stop. As the order gets jumbled up now, we've got a terrible, terrible camera angle. Parker will emerge in 4th place, with Esko Kalevi now the race leader. And yeah, he's in the position he wants to be, with Krabs there in 2nd, Goat Ghosty in 3rd, so he has got a few cars for a buffer. And I'll be hoping that that comes in very handy in terms of keeping behind the championship leader. But yeah, I'm shocked at what I saw with Caspian and Jacek. Like, oh my word, I didn't expect that to just bang be a DNF. That was, what the hell? Yeah, unbelievable. So the Red Bull retires on lap, what I think was lap 10 or lap 9. I think it was lap 9 actually. But yeah, crazy, 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 crazy. And this Portuguese beast has come into the pit lane and to go onto the intermediates, and he's still so far behind. So it's not. I think we're going to have a few laps on the safety car here, lads. So yeah, I think I should probably rest my voice, as my voice is starting to go already after the chaotics of Tier 4, and well, what the chaotics of what we've already seen this evening with Casper just retiring, and obviously the earlier incident between Nardu and Ethan Quigley. And thankfully for Williams, Ethan Quigley's teammate is, well, not in a net race lead, he is now leading the race. That is all down to Esko Kalevi's choice of strategy. And, well, yeah, just being there when it matters. With the rain properly coming down now, it's safe to say that whoever said that in the chat, that it's not a dry race, you're spot on. Who was it? Elias, yeah. You were spot on with the source. I'll employ you as a weatherman in the future. But you see the Haas there, he's just approaching the corner that we're actually going parallel to. So he's almost, yeah, he's got about half a lap to go until he catches up, so we may be on safe car for another 2 or even 3 laps, probably 2 laps. As it'll be the next lap, and then maybe next 1.5, so depends if the game wants to let him off, or unfortunately put the safety car in when he's still half a lap behind, which is horrible when it happens. 13 out of 31. Still a bit to go in the race so far. Oh, we're nearly halfway there. Yeah, pretty much the whole field is caught up, with the exception of Nardu and Portuguese Beast. Who is still, well, yeah, 45 seconds back off the field after his earlier incident. Not much to watch here. We're just watching the cars follow the safety car. Let's go and watch the Haas as he uses up his tyres to go and catch the safety car, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets caught up this lap, or if we're going around for one more. There's only him now remaining to catch the back of the guys. So yeah, it's been an alright race so far. But with the rain coming down, it's definitely going to spice things up as... Ooh, what's going on here? Positions changing for between Ethan Quigley, Sway and Nardu, I think that was. I don't know if these two are getting a bit feisty with one another, obviously after their incident. As we're not getting messages from race control, which is stupid. As... What on earth? Did I just missed the restart. I'm not going crazy. I didn't get any notification that safety car was in this lap. Like, did I miss that? Like, I swear to God, I didn't see anything pop up at the top of the screen, but... Okay then, I guess we're going back to racing then. Well, unfortunately for Portuguese Beast, he will not get caught up to the back of the field. As there still is a yellow flag in Sector 2, so... Game just being very stupid, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, we're back under green, and... Yeah, we didn't even know about it. But Krabs has had some sort of mistake there, as he's going to be under threat from Ghosty, who's looking round the outside of the Aston Martin. It looks like he's going to get the momentum out of the corners to get the move done easily on the Aston Martin. So Ghosty now up in second place. He's now got to try and chase down Esko Kalevi, the man in P2 in the standings. Currently the highest Ferrari on the field as it stands. The other one down in P7, just behind Magnussen Cube, just ahead of Tom Campbell. Yeah, Racing Bull's not quite a strong team here in Tier 1, with obviously Parker being the championship leader and Tom Campbell always kind of being there or thereabouts. Is there a position change between Sway and Amos Nardu? Nardu and Sway side by side into the final few corners. Sway gets a little bit of a wiggle on and inadvertently has a tap with Easton Quigley. That'll be not loved much by the Williams, as his rival there just kind of, yeah, disrupts him by putting another car a little bit sideways, but no damage done, thankfully, for any of the guys. As all, bit of a wall tap there from AMR Don. We just saw that from the camera angle. He's following behind Parker there. The gap behind nearly 8 tenths to Magnussen Cube, so falling a little bit off the front 5, but still definitely there. And if anyone makes a mistake, you definitely will capitalise on that. The front, the gap actually has decreased a lot to from Ghosty to Esko Kalevi, so Ghosty showing some great pace here. Will he maybe even to be able to get a win here around Singapore? Maybe scenes for Ferrari if they do. After Takubi winning for Ferrari in Belgium, can Ghosty take the win here in Singapore? 2 wins in a row. As Krabs has a very deep moment there. Thankfully doesn't hit the wall there. Still going for the time being, as will the American be able to get a move done on what I'm sure he'll think is a car probably holding him up. So it's a little bit of a slide going out of turn 19. Keeps it going in the right direction for the time being. Following Magnussen Cube, P6. The whole field is pretty much separated, apart from Portuguese Beast. The whole field separated by not that much. With the gap from Sway to Nardu increasing by 1.5 seconds, so that is kind of our largest gap, other than the Haas in last place. cars scraping the walls there, so using as much track as they want to. As Dom pushing the racing balls through Singapore Sling. As we go over the Anderson Bridge, or shall I just say where Casper suddenly died. As I think that's quite a fitting name for what we saw earlier on in the race, and I hope someone got a clip of that, because that was honestly, yeah, the most unexpected DNF I think I've ever seen on an F1 game ever. Like, just blatantly, yeah, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, but yeah, Casper unfortunately retiring on lap, I think that was lap 10 or lap 9. Yeah, we have to live and laugh. Up on the front, Esko Kalevi still holding the lead from Goat Ghosty. Go and have a look at him. Man, in P2 in the standings, I think at the moment he would take the championship lead away from Parker. Let's try and do the maths here. He would actually. He would take the championship lead away from Parker by 5 points as it stands. If Esko Kalevi wins and Parker stays in P4. But Parker, crucially, does have a 1 lap fresher tyre advantage than the 3 cars ahead of him, so it may come crucial later on in the race as Krabs makes up his own way of going around the circuit. As crucially, the rain is actually increasing, I want to say, as the cars are sliding around even on the intermediate, so we may see anyone coming in for full wets here. Maybe later on. We are on lap 18 out of 31, so 12 laps to go. Or 13 actually, should we say. The front, the gap has increased to for Esko Kalevi to Goat Ghosty by 1.2 seconds, so Goat Ghosty maybe not coping with the slidey conditions as well as the finished driver. As you can hear on traction there, just the wheel spin of the intermediates. I think, yeah, the track is getting a little bit wetter, so possibly the rain is just becoming more and more heavy as we go over time. As does anyone come in to change tyres? No, they do not. So there's definitely more spray on the circuit than there was a few laps ago. Cars are still staying single file for the time being, which is, we have to say, for racing it's kind of boring, but what can you do apart from watch and just keep your fingers crossed for something dramatic to happen or spice up the championship. Parker can clear Krabs. It will still take, well, yeah, gap at 8 points at the moment, so Parker realistically only needs to finish in second place, and even then he will be level on points with Esko Kalevi. So even if he needs to win the race, basically, if he wants to keep the championship lead, as things stand, obviously we don't know if Esko Kalevi is going to have a DNF or have some sort of accident later on in the race. We just never know, as he's been very, very consistent throughout the season. You wouldn't think that, well, a man that's been here for many, many seasons would make that many mistakes. As the gap is just getting bigger and bigger to the Ferrari. So it seems to be pretty comfortable with the conditions, is the Finnish driver in the Williams. As the rain definitely increasing now, as they go under the bridge, which is a dry patch. So the car's just getting the traction all of a sudden as Parker slides his way out the final corner as we start lap 20 of 31. 11 to go, including the final lap. As Nardo and Risbo have swapped positions. They're actually going side by side through the first sequence of corners. Risbo holds it around the outside of the Sauber. They're going to be side by side going down to turn 5. So Nardu has got ahead for the time being, but Sway into the, I think that was into the back of the McLaren. Hopefully no damage for the Red Bull. The Red Bull looking, unfortunately, on 0 points for the time being. But Nardu, we never even got a pop-up for it ever. Has, oh wow, 13 seconds of penalties. AMR Dom has now got ahead of Parker. So Parker now down to P5. So the championship lead is now even bigger. As things stand, let's try and do the maths here in our heads. Gap would be 13 points, I want to say, from Parker to Esko Kalevi as things stand. I think I've got that completely wrong now, I've come to think of it, but yeah, crucially for the Racing Bulls, he needs to improve on where he is at the moment, because his E1 understanding is definitely under threat as the two cars fighting for P11 between Ethan Quigley and Sway. They're going to bang wheels. The man on pole position fighting only for P11 at the moment. Not where he wants to be. As they're touching and barging into the braking zone, turn 16. That was getting a little bit messy as they're still side by side as Sway pushes the Williams into the wall. A little bit messy here as Quigley looks for the switchback on the Red Bull. As these guys are very much racing very fiercely as Quigley up the inside at turn 1 as they're still going side by side. It's good racing to watch, but I'm sure these two will not be enjoying, well, racing one another as the gap up ahead of them is now 4.5. So they've lost a heap of time to the cars ahead. And it'll be hard to gain that back with obviously the conditions being as they are, but we'll have to wait and see how these two get on. There are 10 laps remaining in the race. AMR Dom getting very close to the back of the Aston Martin of Krabs. It is, I think, our closest gap here on the circuit between the McLaren and the Aston. Aston looking quite good for points here with Krabs in 3rd and Magnussen Cube in P6. Just noticed Tom Campbell has picked up a penalty. That's 3 seconds to him. Just race control. We're not getting notifications for some reason from race control, which is, well, stupid. At the front though, the gap 2 and a bit seconds from the Williams to the Ferrari. The Williams starting to get comfortable here. Ghosty holding up this train now a bit. We'll see if even Krabs can get past him, maybe even close that gap down. We don't know what pace the Aston Martin does have. He's just kind of behind the Ferrari here. Ghosty still doing a good job though, sitting in P2. Still crucial points for Ferrari in the constructor standings. And as things stand, Red Bull are the current championship leaders in terms of the constructors, but I don't think that will be if things stay as they are with both cars out of the points. One of them is crashed and one of them is just not in the points. So let's go and have a look actually at the constructor standings if my thing would load. Yes, so it's Red Bull on 91 points with in 2nd place. Racing Bulls are on 77 and Williams are in 3rd. So I think things would change with Red Bull probably losing out to Racing Bulls. But yeah, Williams are definitely looking very good with not Ethan Quigley, Esko Kalevi comfortably leading the race here by 2 seconds. As the race definitely has stabilised here. We'll start lap 23. As poor old Portuguese beast. Man that had the incident on lap 1. And he's just never been able to unfortunately catch back up. Even with the safety car, the game did not allow him to, well, get to the back of the pack, and he's just kind of been on his own ever since. You've got to feel bad for him. It's been a very, very lonely race. I do respect him for not retiring and not giving up. He's still going. As the yellow flag, I've just realised the yellow flag has been out for forever, by the sounds of it, or by the looks of it, should we say, for some god awful reason. As is Dom going to send one up the inside? Oh, here off Krabs. It looks like he does go for a move, but for the time being cannot get the move done on McLaren, on the race, on the I'm saying every single car apart from the one that I want to be saying. Yeah, Dom not being able to get through on Krabs, but he did have a look, so indicates that Dom maybe has the pace to go and get P2 or maybe even P1. Time is running out in this race. We're running out of corners, we're running out of laps for anything to come. Yeah, the gap's certainly just kind of staying, and our positions staying as they are, as everyone's just following one another. It's just like a DRS train at Monza, but it's a wet train here in Singapore. The gap coming down a tiny bit, actually. It wasn't 2 seconds. The gap, well, now extending again just as we're talking about it. So, commentator's curse. Yeah, I don't really know what to really say now, as everyone's just kind of circulating, and here we go, Dom up the inside, then off Krabs, he barges the... As we were saying about nothing's happening, there we go then, there is an overtake. Dom barges his way through on Krabs, and now McLaren up into P3. After following the Aston Martin for so long, he now goes after Goat Ghostin, maybe even goes after Esko Kalevi, but the gap now extending again to Esko Kalevi. It was down to 1.8, I think, at one point, and now it's up to 2.3. But we'll see if Dom now has the pace to catch and pass Goat Ghostin, and then go and catch and maybe even overtake Esko Kalevi for the race win. It'd be an awesome drive from McLaren if we can get that done, but time definitely is running out, as we're going to start lap 25 in a few corners time. And with the intermediates probably not feeling at the best, but they definitely will still have grip on the tyres for Dom to go and use. That's through turn 1, 2 and 3 goes the McLaren, following the back of that beautiful livery Ferrari, I must say. People don't really like the livery of this car. I don't know why. I think it looks phenomenal. You see Esko Kalevi going to the right-hand side of the circuit, cooling off his tyres off the racing line. Perhaps still in fourth for the time being, still on the back of Dom, so he might be able to snatch back that P2, P3, shall we say. So any mistakes from any of these guys would obviously open the door to pretty much everybody in the field. The gap, well, everyone's separated down to Nardu. Well, Risbo also is very close. But yeah, Nardu, they're in P9. Everyone's pretty much comfortably within a second, apart from Esko Kalevi. So from second to ninth, it's pretty much a whole little train that we have going on here. So any big mistake from any of these guys would open the door to everybody else to try and come in them. See there again, Esko Kalevi off the racing line, cooling down his intermediates, as they're going to be 15 lap old tyres as he going to cross the line now. Dom getting closer now to the back of the Ferrari, so we may see a move done, or move tried to be made from the Greek driver. As Nardu actually comes into the pits and retires. So Nardu has called it a day there. And crucially, the man in third in the standings will not go any further than lap 26. So after his incident with Ethan Quigley, he may just have didn't want to do this no more. Ethan Quigley still has damage actually on that left-hand side end plate. So yeah, I don't know if he even got that repaired during the pit stops. I don't think he probably did. As Nardu is gone, so yeah, the man's third in the standings. Lose a crucial amount of points to the man that is, well, in fourth. I'm not sure who it is. Actually, we'll go have a look. See who would Nardu lose the points to. See now it's no longer in the race. As oh dear. Oh god, what's gone on? As we have cars, people have just disconnected. Oh no. Oh god, that's. I think we had a few oh no, what's happened? I don't know if I've Sway left. I know he did. Oh god, they're all appearing offline too. Oh. There's hardly anybody is appearing online. I don't know what to do here. People have just disconnected and they're not even appearing online. I can try and go through and find Esko Calavios, but Esko Calavi, where are you? I swear to God I have you added. Come on, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, where is it? There he is. Right. Oh, he's down to fourth. As we are having technical difficulties in the half. And Sway manages to get back in, thankfully. Well, we need Esko Calavi back. As soon as possible, preferably. Because there he is. He's back in, but unfortunately for him. Oh, that's horrible luck for the Finnish driver. He's down to fourth, unfortunately, from what was quite a comfortable race lead. As is he even going to lose fifth here to Magnussen Cube? Will he comfortably be able to get back in ahead? As the Aston Martin, is he going to be able to get ahead, or? I think Esko Calavi is now back in, but damage has been done, I'm afraid. I don't know what the hell happened there. I think it was just Sway and Esko Calavi we lost. I don't know if we lost anybody else. That's Ferrari ghosted. Who else was that? Both the Ferraris are gone. Poor old Ghosty as well, losing out there. Oh, I hope I have these guys added. I'm sorry guys, we're missing the action, but I want to try and get these guys back in. Ghosty. I know I have Takubi. Ghosty's back in, thank God. As soon as we can get Takubi an invite, we will go back to the action, but it's not fair. Those guys just got disconnected. Takubi. Right, hopefully these guys can get back in as soon as possible. I think Ghosty did get back in, yes he did, but Takubi did not get back in yet. So But yeah, the race lead. It's hard to commentate on when you just someone's lost the race lead through no fault of their own. Unfortunately, it's just through a disconnect. It's hard, but Dom, yeah, now the race leader. I mean, I must say it's been a great drive from Dom, but you have to feel really bad for Esko Kalevi. He still might even be able to get a good result. He's still going to get a good result here. But what looked like he was going to take the lead of the championship from where he was sitting. Yeah, it's rough. As yeah, in the chat, guys, thankfully, kind of saying that should have been red flagged, and I must say, that's kind of I do agree with him there. It's kind of a bit unfair for what was it? Ghosty, Takubi, Esko Kalevi, and all that. Yeah, Ghosty, unfortunately losing out on what was looking to be a very, very great result. So it's just down to the guys behind the scenes to decide if what they want to do with this race. But I definitely wouldn't blame them if they wanted to pretty much end the race on lap 25, which obviously we saw what happened with those guys disconnecting. As Takubi falls down another position, unfortunately, because of the disconnect, shall we say. Heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak for Ferrari. With one car on the podium and one car, I think, that was in like P6, I want to say, to now one in 8th and one now in 11th. It's, yeah, not great for GB Santon's team. Man, that's on his Valentine's Day date, shall we say, with his missus. He will not be too pleased. But if Ghosty can get his P3 reinstated. Or I think it was P3. Not too sure. But thankfully for Esko, he has got back in, but unfortunately he's 2 seconds behind the pack of the front three. It might be a bit too late, but try and get another Takubi invite sent out. He may not even want to join back, but we'll just send him another one. We've already sent him one, but we'll just hope he can get back in. And well, you have to say, if they reinstate the positions that they were before the disconnect, at least he'll be able to get some points. But we're on the final lap of the race. Dom leading from Krabs, but it's been a race where everything just changed in just a heartbeat. And if things don't get changed, I think there will be a huge controversy to who wins this one, unfortunately. At the moment, it's looking to be comfortable with AMR Dom on the circuit, but will he actually keep this? Don't think he probably should. Not that he's done anything wrong. He's done a great job of navigating 31 laps of this street circuit, but I think you have to say Esko Kalevi just kind of, yeah, it's difficult to say what they're going to do with this, but all the time being, Magnussen Cube, has he gone off? Yes, he has. He's gone off in the background, losing half his front wing. So the Aston Martin falls down to P8 and probably will be P9 with Sway catching him. But up at the front, yeah, Dom leading as he's now into the final sector for the final time here on the road. But results definitely should be changed come the end of this race. But yeah, through the final few corners is the Aston Martin from what has been a great drive. As he's around the final two corners, McLaren will win and see the checkered flag first here in Marina Bay. And this man is the real winner here tonight. Esko Kalevi in fourth. Nothing he could do. Disconnects, loses his win. What I'm pretty sure was an easy, comfortable win for the Finnish driver. There will be definitely some talking needed to be done at the end of this race, but that is your finishing order for the time being. Goat Ghosty, Takubi, Esko Kalevi, and I think one other guy, I think it was Sway as well, being absolutely stiffed by no fault of their own. Just watched a 10 stream streak. Yeah, that is the race, ladies and gentlemen. Tier 1 has done, and yeah, there will be. This has turned into what was not very controversial to probably quite a very controversial race now. But yeah, there is your finishing order on the track. Things will probably, and I hope they do, change around. But yeah, that is your race here in Tier 1. Season 16 Tier 1 here in Singapore has finished. A race that was quite a good one to watch, actually. We only had one safety car, thank God. And yeah, thankfully my voice isn't too bad with the rain coming down, and obviously, well, it was quite boring, to be honest, during the that kind of mid to end section, obviously with the disconnects happening. Definitely spiced it up a bit, but it wasn't right. Not at all right. What happened to Esko Kalevi, and we'll see if they decide to gift him the win. But yeah. And yeah, even Takubi being stiffed over there after finish what was, I think, would have been a P6 or P7 for him, finishing down in P11. Yeah, not great for Ferrari. But yeah, thankfully Goat Ghosty still finished in 7th, but I think he was P3 or P4 before the disconnect. Yeah, heartbreak for these guys. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to end it here. And, well, thank you for everyone that has tuned into the stream. I think we had a peak of 21 viewers at one stage, so thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for typing in chat, saying hi, and being yourselves. But yeah, it'll be round 6. I'm not sure where it is next week, but we'll find out. It'll be Tier 4 on the Thursday evening, where it'll be me on the comms again. And then it'll be Tier 3 on Friday, Tier 2 at 5 PM on Saturdays, and obviously tonight, next week, it'll be Tier 1 again, where it should be GB Sanson back on the main commentary and me alongside him. But from now to then, thank you everyone for watching, and good night.